Hey there, Sovereigns. Monica Grace from cardreadingqueen.com here. This topic is going to be what to do when your love story doesn't feel good. And this is something that I've seen in the community a bit, and I've also experienced it for myself. A lot of it comes from basically somebody who maybe you've met somebody and there's been a lot of in and out, hot and cold, there's been a lot of upheaval, there's maybe even been separation where the two of you have gone on to date other people, to marry other people, to have children with other people, move to different cities, that sort of thing. And the love story doesn't feel good because it doesn't represent what you wanted, perhaps, or it doesn't represent what society tells you is a good love story. So, like a Disney princess type of love story. And so, we're going to get into what you should be doing when your love story doesn't feel good. So I encourage you to get connected to Card Reading Queen. We have free content and updates regularly through all of our social channels. So we're on Facebook, Card Reading Queen. Follow us on YouTube. It's at cardreadingqueen.com/YouTube. On Instagram, we are Card Reading Queen. On Twitter, we are Monica Grace CRQ. On Pinterest, we are Card Reading Queen. Tumblr, dailytwinsoul.tumblr.com, and we post not just our Twin Soul stuff, but a lot of other Twin Soul, Twin Flame, Divine Partnership content. And then on LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, we are linkedin.com/company/cardreadingqueen. And I encourage you to stay connected because that's how you'll receive our free content. And that free content is going to support you in your goals of coming into union with your twin soul. Additionally, we have a number of freebies. You can find them all at cardreadingqueen.com/freebies. So if there's anything in this content that you want to explore more deeply, then just go to cardreadingqueen.com/freebies. All right, so we're going to get into the content. So in my ideal love story, I only wanted to fall in love once. So this is something that I have known since I was a child. As a child, I had always pictured, I'd never pictured like a boyfriend or anything like that. I had always gone straight to the husband. So I'd always pictured like, who is my husband going to be? Who is that special person that I'm always going to be connected to and that I was meant to meet and be with for the rest of my life. And so I'd never dreamed of like my wedding. I'd never really dreamed of my career even. But I had always just assumed that I would get married, and I had always assumed that I'd find the right person and that it would be, I'd find them when I was younger. So like under age 25, I guess, or like kind of in my early 20s. And then we get married and we kind of live happily ever after. So kind of a Disney princess story, basically. But I want to say that these stories, it's not that it's the Disney princess story that affects us. It's really that we had something in our hearts. And so that's why the story resonates with us. So this story that I'm describing, it resonates with a lot of people. So it could resonate with you as well. Maybe it doesn't, but it is something that resonates with many, many people. And that's why the Disney princess stories are popular and stories like them, because they resonate with something that's already understood and something that's already in our hearts. So, what has actually happened for me? I have fallen in love 3 times. It doesn't feel great to me. Like I don't want to say I feel shame over it, which is one of the, I talk about this in my core wounding work, how shame is one of the 6 core wounds. I wouldn't say I feel shame over it necessarily, but I personally really love a good story, and my love story is not great. Like how, if you fall in love 3 times, then how is that one person, so special to you, is kind of how I feel right now. And I want to be clear, I'm working through this right now for myself. So as I'm doing this content, I'm working through this wounding for myself. So what has happened for me is my first love was a boyfriend that I went to high school with him, and then we dated kind of toward the end of high school, and we dated for several years after that. And I did think we were going to get married. I think he thought we were going to get married as well. We had kind of assumed that, and we were, I think, pretty good together, actually. But for many reasons, it didn't work out. It kind of fell apart. It fell apart really easily, which was kind of surprising. So it could have been like kind of over for a while, and we weren't ready to accept that. But that kind of fell apart very quickly, and it was devastating to me because I had kind of assumed my whole future was with this person. And so then the second person I fell in love with was pretty much right after this first person. So it was kind of a rebound. And I would say they were opposite in almost every way. Like this person, the second person was like everything I couldn't get from the first person. The second person was willing to give it to me right then and there. And so they were kind of like foils of each other, very different people. So I married the second person, and he, that did not work out. It was like a very intense relationship. He was really giving me more of the like soulmate connection story that I had been craving. And from, I had been craving it in the first relationship, but it was like, there were lots of words about that in the second relationship, and like lots of mirroring and acknowledgement of that in the second relationship. So the second relationship was very intense, and then got very toxic pretty quickly. But we got married very young. We were together for about 5 years before we separated. And the reason we were together for so long is that I was not willing to get a divorce. I couldn't see myself divorcing. So I wasn't really willing to do that. So then we separated after about 5 years. It took like another 2 years to get divorced. And so that was like a good majority of my 20s. And that's somebody that I'm not in contact with. I'm happy to not be in contact with them. And it's just not, it's not something I regret, but it's something that is like very firmly in the past for me, which is really nice. So then the third person that I fell in love with is my husband, my current husband. And so we met actually we did know each other kind of toward the end of my marriage. We worked together, but then it was probably like a year, like a little over a year before we considered dating. And then we had a lot of stuff to work through. So because the second person, my ex-husband, he was basically a karmic for me. And then my current husband also had a karmic that he hadn't been in a relationship with her for a while, but she like kind of served the same purpose as my ex-husband did. And so we had a lot to work through, let's just say that. And we're in a great place now. And we're really happy together. But it was a lot of work to get here. So we've been married for a little over 4 years now, and really going strong. We have a child together. We're building our family, and everything there is pretty great. But the feelings that I have about this story are still not good. So I just want to share that. So even though these are my feelings, I'm trying to feel my feelings. What I'm actually experiencing is a separation, and this may be true for you as well. So if you're kind of looking back at your own love story and realizing that it doesn't feel good to you, it's also a separation that you're having. And here's why. The real love story, number one, true love of your life is your higher power. So this is something that I'm really trying to sink into. And to be honest, this is the path of the twin soul journey. So a lot of people come to this journey thinking that it is about getting a person, or thinking that it's about getting their soulmate or whatever it is. But it's not. It's actually about developing that relationship with your higher power, your creator, God, the universe, spirit, source, whatever you want to call him or her or it. Um, that is the true purpose of this journey. And that it's a tough, it sounds very good, and it's also, it could be a completely freeing for you, or it could be very triggering for you to hear that. So number two, my greatest love story is always going to be the one where I fell in love with myself. And so this as well has been really challenging for me. And again, this is the work of this journey. So TwinSoul Journey work, it really is about falling in love with yourself on every level, and just feeling joyous about that, finding peace and love within yourself. And when you master these two things, when you realize it's about your higher power and it's about you, then your true twin soul is going to reveal themselves to you in the physical. And so your twin soul, the reason this happens, your twin soul is not a person. It's your higher power or your creator manifested in the 3D physical as a person. And so this is something I think a lot of people, again, they want to get this specific person, and that's totally fine. If there's a specific person you have in mind, and that person in your mind is your twin soul, or your intuition is telling you that, then you should follow that, because you can use that person to mirror and do your healing work. And as you do that, then you will either grow closer to that person, or that person will fall away. So you know your relationship with your creator, you know your relationship with yourself. And when you know that you are genuinely in love with yourself, genuinely at peace, you can look around you and say, who is coming into my reality, because that's my twin soul. And so that may be this person that you think it is, or you may have to let that person go and see that you have grown and maybe they haven't, and that's because they're not your twin soul, basically. All right, so your love story is your own growth and healing. And again, this is challenging to accept. I am still struggling to accept this for myself, because what I did want was that Disney princess fairy tale, or like the Notebook type of situation, but that's not what this journey is about. This journey is about falling in love with yourself through your own personal growth, and through your own healing, through uncovering your wounding and doing your healing work. So that's all for this content. The next steps, think about where you feel resistance to the idea that your greatest love story is with your creator and with yourself. And as you think about that, definitely feel free to journal this out, or make a little list of what you're feeling around that. If you're feeling any resistance, make a list of what that is, because those are things that you can heal. And this will bring you further into your twin soul journey. If you are interested, you can do some of our healing tools at Card Reading Queen. So cardreadingqueen.com/freebies. I mentioned here the 5U process. So what that is, it basically describes how we heal. And so it's upset, uproot, mask, union, and then upheaval. And so it kind of goes through those 5 steps. We also have the reflection journaling practice, which is a series of prompts, questions that could be helpful to you. And then we have the core wound wheel work, which is a kind of a tongue twister, but that is going to just show you these 6 core wounds and, kind of go deeper into the theory behind healing. So if you're looking for something that's more structured with your healing, then you can use this tool. So again, go to cardreadingqueen.com/freebies to pick up those free tools. Emphasis on the free, like you can do this right now and move through your twin soul journey. And then finally, if this is resonating with you, leave a comment on this posting to share your upset, your story, or your results. I would love to connect with you on that. If this topic is interesting to you, and if you are on a twin soul journey, you may be interested in my book, Your Twin Soul Journey. Go to cardreadingqueen.com/twinsoul journey to learn more about that. It is a guide to experience eternal, unconditional, harmonious, embodied love and union with your divine partner. And we talk a lot about, stuff that's really similar to this content that I'm sharing now. I hope this content was helpful to you. Thank you so much for giving your time and attention to this topic, and I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day.